Let's dive into gut health today. We all know most diseases begin from the gut, right? It's a scientific reality. So, let me tell you some practical tips we need to imply in our everyday life to make sure that our gut is happy and, in turn, of course, our health. Because, as it's said, gut is our second brain, and 70% of immunity is from our gut. So, that's how important it is. So, let's start. First, mouth is the first organ of digestion, and what are we expected to do? Chew our food because we have enzymes in our saliva that is supposed to start the digestion process so that your stomach only receives partially digested food. So if you chew food properly, 30 to 50% of digestion happens in your mouth, and this makes it easier for your stomach to further break down food and extract nutrients effectively. This also slows down eating, so prevents overeating, also reduces the risk of indigestion and bloating, which is a very common complaint. Now, this is very basic and simple yet very important step to take care of our digestive health. So don't gulp down food, don't eat fast. We have the time, nothing will run away. So first, chew your food well. Listen further. Next, from your mouth, our food comes to the stomach, which is an acidic environment, and this acid strength is very important for breaking down proteins. Not only breaking down the proteins, but this hydrochloric acid is also antibacterial, antifungal. So any fungal or yeast or microbes that happens to be in our food when we are eating, if we have good strong acid, it will destroy these germs. So this acid environment is very important. So what are we expected to do? Tip 2. Strictly avoid drinking with meals because it reduces the acid strength and dilutes the gastric juices, which interferes with proper digestion. We should stop water ideally half an hour before the meal and resume drinking water not half an hour after the meal. Resume drinking water 1.5 to 2 hours after the meal once the food is left the stomach. If you're thirsty, you can have a few sips, but that's it. So remember the gap: 30 minutes before meals and 90 to 120 minutes post meals. That's the gap you have to maintain. Now, very important. Now, it takes 3 to 4 hours to digest. Our food stays in the stomach for 3 to 4 hours depending on what we've eaten. For example, we've eaten roti with chicken or mutton. This takes longer to digest than soup and khichdi. But what do? We are told to eat every 3 to 4 hours. Poor thing, our stomach finishes digestion and new food is dumped in. So we literally make sure that our stomach is constantly working until you go to sleep. Means hai to vasool karna hi hai. It should not be like that. It's our body, our stomach, it deserves some rest. So what are we expected to do? Tip number 3, you give 1 hour rest to the stomach after digestion is completed before you put anything else in the mouth. So what this means is give a 4 to 5 hours gap between each meal. Don't keep snacking in between. Now next is our intestine, our mastermind, the job of which is to extract energy from food, absorb the vital nutrients like vitamins, minerals, and even water, and get rid of the waste. Now in our intestine is our microbiome, a residence of 100 trillion bacteria, some of which are good, some of which are bad. Now the good bacteria in our gut are the ones that help in digesting the food, absorbing essential nutrients, and excreting the waste out. And they also fight the bad bacteria. But often due to our bad food choices and lifestyle factors, the good bacteria in the gut reduces and the bad bacteria increases. Now this imbalance is of course linked to gut issues like constipation, acidity, bloating, but also linked to diabetes, obesity, heart diseases, as well as skin issues like acne, mental health issues like depression, anxiety, mood swings, low energy levels, and low immunity. Amazing, right? And that's why we have quotes like our gut is our second brain, and that's why we have to keep our microbiome healthy and diverse. So again, what are we expected to do? Consume probiotic-rich foods, yogurt, sauerkraut, kimchi. These foods naturally contain the good bacteria. Next, add in more fiber-rich foods like fruits, vegetables, whole grains, nuts, and seeds. Fiber is prebiotic, meaning it serves as food for probiotics. So by eating fiber-rich foods, we are flourishing the good bacteria. Next, give your gut some rest by either eating light foods, taking early dinners, or fasting. Next, if you want your bad bacteria to increase, only then eat more sugar, refined flour like white bread, white pasta, noodles, and even artificial sweeteners. Next, Bad sleep. If you don't get enough sleep, it causes an imbalance in your microbiome because the bacteria in your gut also has a circadian rhythm and it requires you to sleep on time. Next, antibiotics. We all know this, that overuse of antibiotics destroys the good bacteria in your gut and disrupts the microbiome. So don't overuse it. Trust me, you will never need antibiotics if you get good sunlight, sleep well, exercise, and eat well. Just basics. And last but not the least, the most important, stress. People who are stressed or have chronic stress during a prolonged period of time experience a disruption of their microbiome with higher amounts of bad bacteria and lower amounts of good bacteria. So stay calm, stay happy, everything is all right. So we come to an end on this topic today. If you found it helpful, please do subscribe to my channel and press that notification bell for more such healthy conversations.